whatever end they want. And Jeffrey Epstein came from, a finance career, and he was in fashion, and he was, buddies with the former CEO of Victoria's Secret and all these, so being in fashion and being in media and being in finance, I think he just has all those circles. I think the politicians have came into the game. They've been like, oh yeah, this is like, we all have these weird fetishes too.
Kind of interesting, yeah. Maybe. Because there is kind of a disconnect between Hollywood and
exactly. Like, if you're a
politics.
politician, you're all buttoned up all the time. Like, I could see cutting loose. I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems to make sense to be like that. There's probably more Hollywood, more movies and music people involved. But
yeah, there could have been a shift. I think the Hollywood, there was tons of Hollywood people.
Yeah.
That and then like you said, they're like, we'd like to touch little boys, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a lot of politicians now.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, yeah. So that's trending. That whole situation.
Yeah.
So we'll wait for that list.
Right.
That'll be huge.
We'll see.
Yeah, the streets will get crazy maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people who are on the list should just turn themselves in. The public would want them to go to prison still for life, but they wouldn't kill them.
Would you? So here's a good question. Would you want to see a public execution? If you found out that somebody that was doing really terrible things, would you want to see that person put to death, or would you want to see that person locked up forever?
Ooh, this is a great question. It's a great question because you try to think, okay, you can think, I can see it from different ways. So yes.
So see it from a father or a sibling's perspective. If a criminal did terrible things to your daughter or sister or family member.
Yeah, that's like, how terrible. So murder, you are up for public execution, like the chamber or.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do the potassium
injection.
Yeah, what is it?
Just by lethal
arsenic
injection?
or something like that.
Yeah.
Potassium arsenic or potassium.
I don't know.
Whatever the shot is.
I don't know the chemicals. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's arsenic. I'm stuck on what that is, because they're in the little apple seeds too.
Arsenic sounds right. I think arsenic is an apple seed. Yeah.
Okay. But they still do public executions. Like, it's not like hanging or like head off at the stake or in front of a crowd, but it's like a room. Mm-hmm. It's open to the public, right? And then they have the execution, however they go.
I don't know.
Behind the glass.
So I'm just thinking of the movie The Green Mile with so somebody is in the electric chair. There's only
so much seating.
The prison staff and maybe the family.
Right.
That would watch. But I'm saying, would you want it broadcast? Would you want it to be on Twitter? Would you want to be able to hop on Twitter and say, this person, it'll say, this is the crime they committed. Here's a short synopsis of what crime they committed, and then here's them being put to death.
I think so. I think it want it broadcast.
I think so too.
Yeah. There's so many good reasons. Think of how the optics of
the deterrent, right? So that's the Old West style, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody does something and they're killed right there, then that sends a message to the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm. And it also shows the world that we're not, the core of America's citizens aren't so bad.
Yes.
We can call it out.
Yep.
So they'll be like, oh, Americans still got a soul.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Denmark and all these other places. I think so. And then on a whole other universal God level, I'd want to experience see someone's life in their eyes be taken or gone,
mm-hmm.
in the chair. I don't know. They probably cover their eyes when they do it, but that's a, you know what I mean, the sassafras grass level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you are like, yeah. Should I have not said sassafras grass?
No, that's fine. I'm just thinking because what that makes me think of is the unity and the connectedness of it all, which is then a little disheartening. So you say, okay, if it's all one consciousness, it's all one unity, and then if someone in their physical form decides to, perform terrible crimes, and they harm other people and they torture and they do gruesome shit, then you kind of like to see that execution. You kind of like to see that end. But then the other side of the coin is, what's their karma? What's their, what's happening with them? Like what was it about their life that led them to be comfortable enough to, harm and do such terrible things to another person? And then you think
that their parents.
That I think, and then I think, like, are they AI? Like, are they non-human? Like, are they able to, because you always try to put yourself in their position. You say, okay, if I'm a compassionate person, like, I would never be able to do that. But if someone else is able to do that, are they AI? Like, are they non-human? Like, do they not have compassion? Do they not have a conscience? Do they not have any of those human soul elements?
Yeah.
And they're just,
first thought is that they are human, but they are just, there's something wired wrong, right? That's the easy.
Yeah.
They're like, there's something wrong with them. But what if humans, most of them, just, there's nothing wrong with them?
Yeah.
In that sense that, because it goes against, like, your biology of, like, your race, like no other
survival just to keep your race alive. Yeah.
Not your race. I said race, but I meant like
the human race. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so then you're like, well, what if all humans are fine, but the ones that aren't human? Is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question. AI. Yeah, they'd be artificial. Yeah, intelligence for sure. Yeah, I saw a post about lizard people. They could be lizard people.
It could be.
Yeah.
Just some other life form, and then of course you just say, okay, like we've talked about aliens, we talked about other intelligent biologics. So if it's another physically moving thing that's living, but doesn't have a soul, doesn't have any compassion for humanity, and is perfectly fine wiping out humanity, right? But they look like us, and then you say, okay, there must be a deeper reason to appear like you're one of us and then destroy us, right? Like then it just gets deeper. Yeah.
And why do we stop using the word alien?
Yeah. I don't know. I
like saying alien.
I like aliens. Yeah, I like saying it. Yeah, it's like if you try and, I think maybe the Department of Defense and maybe some of those other researchers are saying, like, oh, it's not. There's a more correct way of saying it or whatever. But yeah, probably. Like to us, it's just an alien. Like it's not an animal.
It's something foreign.
It's something foreign. It's something that's not.
Yeah.
Like us, but.
If it's not foreign, that'd be scary. What if they're just already here?
That's a school of thought. Like you go through that thought exercise. Like they're among us.
Yeah. Among us.
Yeah.